Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bari Connected podcast. And I'm so happy that you guys are here. We're being joined today by Rob from Busy Bariatrics. And for those of you who don't know Rob, I I I just am at loss for words, except for just saying he's amazing, he's wonderful, probably one of the best people that I've met in the bariatric community. Cannot say enough wonderful things. I've got to meet Rob at several different events. I don't even remember the first time we met anymore. We've been at quite a few together. Do you remember back, Rob?
I think New Orleans. I think New Orleans was like we've always hovered around each other and we have so many mutual friends that we've met with each other. Actually, no, maybe JBY, like the first one in Portland.
Maybe so.
Did we meet ish?
Yeah.
It's weird. Like this last year has been such a beautiful blur for me in my life that like I don't know, but I'm so happy to have you in my life. So it's a good deal.
I know. I'm really excited too. And Rob, you're just so inspiring. I want you to tell us a little bit about you, but Rob also had bariatric surgery. He was inspired at that point to start his fitness journey in which he shares, and he has his own coaching service now to be able to provide, inspiration for people who have had weight loss surgery. And he's also an amazing teacher, I can only imagine. And so we have him on a little break here from his teaching. So at that, Rob, I'm gonna mute myself because I'm gonna log on to Facebook, make sure there's no comments there. If you're joining us here on Zoom webinar, please say hi. Let us know where you're from. Let us know if you're pre-op or post-op in the bariatric surgery world. And at that point, I'm going to just mute myself, let you kind of do an more formal introduction.
Yeah, so thanks, Brenda. It's always a joy to be on with you and do all this fun stuff for ProCare. So like Brenda said, my name's Rob. I had bariatric surgery in June of 2020. I was one of the first surgeries right after the pandemic. So I had that lucky joy of having my surgery date scheduled, and then we went into shutdown, and they said, "Look, we might be able to do your surgery. We don't know when." So you need to maintain your weight while the whole world is shutting down and go from there. I was able to lose 50 pounds by using the bariatric behavior goals that I use with my clients, and had surgery and lost another 100 pounds. Since then, I've gotten some awesome opportunities to be featured at award shows like Just Be You, where I won Best Men's Overall Page and Best Men's Fitness. I've started my own personal training, coaching, and nutrition coaching company to help so many other people. And I get to speak nationwide about the importance of fitness and weight loss and nutrition after bariatric surgery. This is like Field of Dreams, Brenda. Like the chat, I just turned my head to the right, and it's like you built it, and everyone is here, and they are coming. So this is awesome. I'm seeing so many people. I'm just so happy to hear all of your journeys and see how many are down. I see some Delaware, Nebraska, Buffalo, Georgia. So it really does show. A lot of the times when you're in your bariatric journey, the scariest part is there's not many people you may know in your own community. Like even when I'd go to support groups, to give you an idea, I am 39. I am a male, which means I'm in the right age group for bariatric surgery, but I'm usually not in the right gender, as most of the population is female who has the surgery. So I really struggled with finding other people in the community who looked like me, who ate like me, who wanted to move their bodies like me. And from sharing my story online, I was able to connect with so many amazing people. I've listened to podcasts. I'm rambling now just because like when you look back at how much this surgery has changed my life, I always joke, I don't know where I'm going to be in 3 months because it just gets more amazing every 3 months after this surgery. So you guys kind of get me at this point. So, that's kind of me in a nutshell. And I get the joy of hanging out with Brenda when I see her on all these things. So
Yeah. um, I think that really the community itself is just so welcoming. These people that are here with us, I just want to say hi to some of them. On Facebook, we have Tanya and we have Michelle. Here on this forum, we have Vicky, Katie, Harry, Sharon, Connie, Virginia, Tim, Terry, Tiffany, Kimberly, Stephanie, Nancy, just probably more here, Charlene. just want to say hi to each and every one of you and thank you for taking the time in your day to spend with us because time is so valuable. And we want to make this as wonderful as we can, don't we, Rob? And I know he worked really hard on putting some ideas together. Rob, you've actually been on this forum with me before. Him and Kim from Active Bariatrics joined us. Their replay is on our YouTube channel. So please feel free to skip on over there to ProCare Health Vitamin Supplement Facebook page or YouTube channel and subscribe there, and you'll get notifications of new recordings. So this will be on replay. If you need to jump off early, no worries. The same link will get you to the replay if you use it before the end of this month, or it'll also be added to that YouTube channel within a week, and also to our Very Connected podcast. So anyways, at this point, we're just going to go ahead and Rob, we're going to kind of start in with all this good stuff that you have to share. I
Yeah,
know that you're like really passionate about this, and I want to give you as much time as
I
possible.
love it. One quick thing, Brenda, it seems like I've lost the ability to share my video
Oh,
with
let me see
everything
here.
to put these on. So I may have to just like freebase it. If anyone wants a copy of these slides, I will send a link if that helps. But for whatever reason, I'm not seeing it come up.
Try it one more time, Rob. See if it does now. I just changed multiple participants can share, so hopefully.
All right, so let me see. Oh, it's the green button that says share screen, people. Again, you'd never know that I taught 2 years during a pandemic to figure this out. But here we go. Now it has to live up to its expectations. So hopefully everyone can see this. Little bit more about me. I'm one of those people who I'm a husband, a father, a teacher. As much as I love coaching bariatric patients, that is my side job, which means I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning. I get my workout in, I get my kids together. My wife gets them out to school. Then I teach a full day, and then I come back. I get the kids together. I get them out to their activities, and then I coach clients at night and on the weekends. The reason I share all that is because I am a busy bariatric, and that's why the company's name is Busy Bariatrics. And the reason that I've been able to find success while having a full, robust life, which I absolutely love, is because I'm very intentional with my time. And that means both from sun up to sundown, but also looking holistically at my calendar and how we do everything. And when I track my data, which if you know anything about me, I have been tracking my food for the last 4 years. So I know exactly what I've eaten, with the exception of like 5 to 12 days over the last 4 years from when I started my weight loss journey to when we got on this Zoom call today. So like a fun trick that you can always do with me is say like, what did you eat on like April 5th, 2021? And I can go through my tracker and be like, I had this. And I can tell you the macros. And the reason I do that is that's not for everyone, but for me, getting very intentional about my time, my day, and my month really helped me. And as I looked at my data, I noticed a trend that was pretty alarming. But then when I really looked back and journaled, I realized that the biggest months that I gained weight prior to weight loss surgery and the months that I struggled to lose weight after weight loss surgery happened to be September, October, November, December. And that's one of the reasons why I love having my data is when you really look at everything, you realize this is a very stressful time in my life as a teacher. I love what I do, but it's back to school for both my kids and my school. So it's the start of a new school year. And then we also have so many other parts of our lives that are going on and interacting. So it became one of those things that when I started to look back at all my data, I noticed like, wow, I gained like 15 pounds almost every September to December. I know, and I'm emphasizing burrs. So you guys are all, if you're needing to hit your water goal, drink every time of a healthy fluid that I say burr in this presentation, and you will hit your water goal for the week. But the point I make is I was gaining about 15 pounds every single burr season. And a lot of that came from a whole bunch of things. And when I started working with clients, I realized this is a very difficult time in the bariatric community that we don't want to talk about. Yeah, we're getting back from our vacations, and yes, we're getting back into our routines. But for a lot of us, there's a lot of pitfalls and struggles that we can have. So hopefully by today, we can have a little bit of a conversation, and I can show you a couple ways to guide through and what's really helped me over my time. So What's the burn? Why is it worth planning for? I always say it's the final four. It's September, October, November, December. It's this part of the year that if you really embrace it, you don't get to January 1st and have New Year, New Me. The goal at January 1st, if you really embrace the burr, is you should be almost at this point of New Year, same me, meaning that these last 4 months is a great time to build the habits and opportunities to really develop and get our goals together. For us, a lot of the times, this is a return to routine from when we get from vacation. For others, this can be the final hurdles in your last lap. So many times we look at our January 1st goals and say, we wanted to lose X amount of weight in X amount of time. And then all of a sudden we get back off the beach and we realize, oh goodness, we only have a third of the year left. And it's the trickiest part to handle. For a lot of us after bariatric surgery, it's either a showcase of how far you've come, or this can be the stumbling block. My first year out of bariatric surgery, I had it in June. So that first year is that honeymoon stage into the holidays where I almost like was able to do like showboat lapping in that honeymoon phase where it's like, look, I made it through September and I lost 12 pounds. I made it through October and I lost 8 pounds. I had like the skin off my turkey leg on Thanksgiving and a thimble of mashed potatoes. Look how great I am. And in December, I had like one little piece of ham for the holiday season. I say that because the honeymoon's easy. You know, the sleeve will do a lot of the work for you. It'll get all the results that you want, and it really is in the driver's seat. As you move forward and as you go on after bariatric surgery, this really does become like the testing time for all of us. And a lot of it, when you struggle with all or nothing mentality, any one of these hurdles that you stumble over can be the reason that you go into the, well, I'll start in the new year. If I had a nickel for everyone who's like, well, it's October, let me get through Halloween. And then, you know, Halloween goes into November, we get to Thanksgiving. And then it's like, well, it's the holidays. I don't want to start working on my fitness and nutrition now. I've got too many parties. And next thing you know, you're at January 1st, a third of the year is gone. And you've either, gained weight or you haven't lost to what your goal is. So the goal is really to look at each one of these hurdles and find some ways that we can develop on this. So why the burrs can be scary? For so many of us who struggle with an all or nothing mindset, each burr is kind of a hurdle that is not completed, enables us to feel defeated. So many times in my life, when it came to diet and exercise, I would have an all or nothing mindset where I would live on that diet. Do we all remember this from before bariatric surgery? You would say enough is enough, and you're going to eat chicken breast and broccoli and a can of diet air, and you're going to do 15 hours of cardio, and then in between that, you're going to have like ice chips because water has calories somehow. And you build up these horrible diet habits. And when they fail, you almost derail even harder and say, you know what, bring on all the cookies because we failed. The burrs are kind of scary in that sense that because for so many times you get in this all or nothing mindset where you're either in the honeymoon phase and you're losing so much, but it might slow down because of everything that's going on in your life. And you'll say, well, maybe bariatric surgery has failed. Or you've gone to the maintenance phase and you're doing all the things that really helped and developed. And now we get into this holiday season and you're like, like I'm not losing at the rate I'm losing. Why am I working this hard? So a lot of the times we have to look at it as, and I'm going to go into teacher mode now, is that you don't have to pass every one of these quizzes for the months. Look at them as small quizzes to just assess how you're doing and reassess before the big test of January 1st. My thing is, we don't really need to score 100% throughout these 4 months. You really just have to score 60%. You need to do better most days than you do poorly. And that can be with taking basic assessments as the scale, that could be body measurements, that could be reps in the gym. It could just be how many times you go to the gym. So many times you go through this, you just have to get an opportunity to test and rest and reset what you need. It's the idea that like you just have to make progress over progression. If you're out of that honeymoon phase, even if you just lost half a pound for the month of September, and then you lost a pound in the month of October, and then you lost half a pound in November, and then you lost half a pound. Well, that's 2.5 pounds. But if you get there and you do that for 3 periods of the year, 2, 4, 6, 7, that's 7.5 pounds a year. And, being 10 pounds lighter in a different weight range is all you really need in the long game to get the success you really want and to keep the weight off because it's sustainable. When we look at it, like I said, I've tracked my weight since I was 18, product of diet culture. But when I look back as a 39-year-old, I've had 18 seasons of burrs where I've gained weight. There's only been one season of burr where I've lost weight, and that was actually the first year in the honeymoon phase. Even the second year after bariatric surgery, I maintained my weight. This year, I'd look at it as like I've gotten through a stressful September, and yes, the weight is down. But if I don't lose another pound between now and January, you need to count that almost as a win because you haven't gained. And I think a lot of people, we sell ourselves short. We don't think about what everything's going on because we don't necessarily develop and get everything that we need. I'm taking like a deep breath. I feel like a car salesman. I'm just rambling. If anyone has any questions or puts it into the chat, feel free to. Brenda, if we have anything on Facebook.
I'm looking here. I don't see any questions right now there. So
Sweet.
I'd say get your drink and
I'm telling everyone I'm just going to ramble then. So looking at it, like the trick that we want to do is we want to hit everything by monthly goals. So we just got through September. September is really good to almost do it as your practice run. This is a great time to set up your gym routine. Now that like everyone's back in full swing in school, it might be like, hey, start figuring out, can you lift at 5 a.m.? Does your 3 p.m. workout actually work for you? It's finding those things that work, but really getting down onto a system of meal planning and prepping, keeping your calendar sacred. And this is really important, is starting to establish the facts that your schedule is going to fill up a little bit more each month as the holidays get closer, and really respecting the fact that you can say no to activities so that you get the results that you want. It's also a great time to mess things up in September. Try some new cooking recipes and see if they work. Maybe they don't, and that's perfectly fine. See if your new habit of like working out in the night time might be a better time for you. This is a really good time to solidify and look at everything so that you're ready to go when we get. And I always joke, as a man in the community and a huge football fan, the NFL comes back in September. So whereas my Sundays are usually a time of rest where I meal prep and plan, somehow chicken wings and adult beverages can sometimes sneak up in September. And it may not be a lot of calories, but that little bit of calories over each Sunday can slowly add up and cause weight gain or keep you from going into deficit in the maintenance. When we get to October, how you handle Halloween candy is really just a great litmus test of how's the rest of the holiday season going. And there's really no right or wrong way to handle it. I'll be the first to say, if my wife brings Reese cups into the house, they stand no chance. But the beauty of like understanding that is it allows me to have the conversation with my wife of, look, I really don't have the best relationship with this. Can we not get Halloween candy till the 31st? And she really is great like that. She'll hide it. She'll keep it in a place. But it allows you to start to have that conversation on foods that may be triggering for you and really develop a healthy plan to work with it. And it's only taken 12 years of marriage for me to finally communicate with her, like, I can't handle this on my own. I need help. And that's okay, people. Part of it is you develop those plans and communication skills so that you can get it, but you figure it out. The Halloween candy matters because it's the first hurdle of the holidays. And you have to remember, Halloween candy is a calorically dense slider food. Even after bariatric surgery, so many times you can absolutely, fit 12 Reese cups and it's not going to cause pressure on your pouch. And that can really add up to like 2,000 calories on its own that does all that. It's also a good habit of just practicing saying no. So many people will have open Halloween candy on their desks or in their offices, and they'll be like, here, take some. And for me, it's a really good practice of how many times can I just say no to the food that's in front of me. It also allows you to start winterizing your workout routine. This morning, I got into the car and I swear my butt almost froze to the seat because we're starting to get the chill in New Jersey. So I realized like, oh, when I wake up, I have to start the remote in my car so that it's nice and warm for me to go out to the gym. It's small things like that that we do in October that make it so that when we hit the tough months of November and December, we're not really struggling with these little bumps because we've already worked them out early. And then finally, identify your food triggers and build a relationship around them before people get involved. We go to a lot of Halloween parties because our kids are at that age. We have a lot of social events. And it's one of those that I have to realize those social events are going to be there. And I don't necessarily have to make them about food or alcohol. I can choose one, the other, or none. But having an intentional plan of if you have an event to do every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in October, the holiday season, maybe you pick one to be about food, one to be about alcohol, and one that you just really abstain, and you get the results that you want from there. Deep breath. I promise there's only 2 more months.
No,
People.
I love it, Rob. I think I love the ideas that you brought in with the October, because I have to laugh. The Halloween candy thing here hits home. My husband and me both love chocolate, and so like the last 2 years, he's like, we live like literally 15 minutes out of town. Like we do not get trick-or-treaters. But the last 2 years, he's like, you need to go buy trick-or-treat candy for all those kids that are coming by. I'm like, what? So obviously I always do, and then we end up eating it. It's just kind of almost a joke, but yeah. And there's a comment here too. I want to just see.
I love this
Um,
too. I'll let you read it
yeah,
and then I'll ramble on.
okay, because I haven't read it yet. Pre-op, the burns are hard for me because of seasonal depression. It's around the time of year that I'm just a roller coaster with my moods, and depression get really low. I don't want to get out of bed and let's see.
I'll skip meals, which then causes me to
Okay,
like,
finish it
which
up, Rob. My
I'll
screen
close
didn't.
it out. Takes a team, Brenda. So, which then causes me to eat like crap. I'm really struggling with emotional eating and I'm trying to get that motivation to fight, but it's hard. And you're not alone. I have to say, when I look at my clients, I would say there is a good amount, without calling them out or giving specifics, of that really struggle that when it gets cold out, they don't want to do anything. And it's one of those of like, you need to almost lean into that with seasonal depression. So it's one of those of by developing habits and routines in September and October, like you still have plenty of time before it gets really cold and really dark. But it's also, the best thing that you've done for this is you've identified that you struggle with it. That means it could be something that you need to talk to a professional therapist or a counselor to handle the mental aspect of that. But from a physical thing, it's small things that you can do, as in making non-negotiables of maybe it is tough to wake up in the morning because it's so cold and dark. Well, then maybe you have to work out in the afternoon after your body's already adjusted and gotten used to it. For me, a lot of it is like why I do my meal planning or advanced tracking, where I will take the end of the day when I have like I'm kind of mentally, physically, and emotionally done. I will take the time at the end of my day to reflect of here's what I'm having for breakfast tomorrow, here's what I'm having for lunch, here's what I'm having for dinner. And just knowing that gets rid of some of the decision fatigue that can really be exhausting, especially when we get to the colder, darker months. So it is a tough thing to beat, but it's why I always look at it as you need to have a plan. You need to surround yourself with people who get it and understand it and who will coach you through it. And that's one of the things where your environment plays a role, where you want to make sure that you surround yourself with people who understand that you're struggling and support you as opposed to hold you back.
Rob, can I add to that? Would you mind?
Of course.
Yeah, I think too, a lot of times, you know, you mentioned the darkness and like just being cold outside and those type of things. For a lot of people, like even it sounds silly, but light therapy, like just like opening up a window, getting some sunshine, or if you can't do that, like actually being outside, being outside for periods of time, just being able to get a little bit of sunshine here and there for whatever reason, to me, it's like one of the most incredible things that just adds to my mood. And I know even like tanning booze, I know are not probably like the most healthy as far as like people are concerned about skin cancer and stuff, but that ultraviolet ray light, I don't know, there's something about it. Sometimes I just do that because it makes me feel better, but there's other different kinds of ways to get light. I just think for me that's one of the big things, and seasonal depression can be that for some people.
Exactly. And that's one of those things you may also want to talk to your doctor about, like vitamin D as a supplement, which really helps for when you're in the darker months. But really getting a routine. One of the cool things when I studied in Finland for a summer is they really believe in getting out in the cold, and walking in the cold each day helps with their mental aspect and their physical hygiene. So it's one of those things of like embracing the cold a little bit, or letting that cold air get in through your body can really do some wonders for you. But as always, talk to your doctor, talk to your medical provider to get the best help and support. Let's get into November, because this is when like the real holidays start. I always joke the birds are almost like a college football season, where September, like, it kind of counts, but it doesn't really. Like, the big schools play the little schools and they beat up on them. October, it starts to amp up a little, but by November, everyone is fully either cheering, embracing, or frustrated with where we're at in our journey for this. And I look at it as like, it's Thanksgiving, it's Friendsgiving, it's what we talked about in the comments, it's managing the cold. So this is where like the holidays really start to pick up. Your calendar is going to get really, really full, and you have to make some non-negotiables of, hey, maybe I don't have to go to this party tonight because I want to get a good workout in the next morning, or I'll go to the party, but I'm not going to consume alcohol so that I'm fresh and ready to go the next morning. It's finding those small ways that work, that have everything to do it. You also look at it, it's sweater weather. In so many parts of the country, you look at the warmer weather places, the body fat percentages are down, is because they have to be in open clothes all year round. And for us, this is the time where we're covering up our swimsuit bodies, where we're covering up, we're layering. So it's one of those that we don't kind of necessarily notice what's going on as much. And I always joke, like, it's very easy for me to like hop, skip, and jump to my gym when it's like 60 degrees in the morning, the sun is shining, and the birds are chirping. But it gets really, really tough when it's like 30 degrees and my hands are cold on the car steering wheel and I can see my breath in the car for the whole ride. So it's one of those that like you have to start to really make a plan that's going to work for you. I kind of share it up on the screen if you look at it too. As you get further out, this is what I put on my plate first Thanksgiving. I had like that little sliver of the cranberry. Like, look at it. That's like a thumb's worth of mashed potatoes. That's 3 slices, 5 slices of sweet potato, and a turkey leg that like I put it on the plate. And if I had 3 bites of it, that was more than enough. When we look at like my third Thanksgiving from here, you notice the core's gotten much better, but so is the portion size. Like, I'm eating a lot more, and this is just part of the process. As you get further out, your sleep's going to have less restriction, and that doesn't mean that like your surgeon failed you. It means that you really have to build the habits and behaviors that are going to develop what you need, and you see it through all of these holidays that are involved with food. Finally, we get to December. This is where we get to the final countdown. There's so many reasons why we derail in December. It's like, oh, we got so well through September, we got so good through October, November, we might have done well, but then December, for whatever reason, that all or nothing mindset can really creep in, and we start to just look at it as, I'm going to put everything off, or I'm going to shut it down until January. If I had a nickel for everyone who told me I'm going to shut it down till January, and January becomes February, February becomes March, and then all of a sudden they're calling me of, hey, I need to get my beach body together, and it's April, and I'm like, that really had to have started back in December. And that's not me to knock, and there are some things to do, but you always have to look at it as like, the more you manage your time, the better your results are going. December gets really tough because there's so many reasons we derail. Our social calendar is full of holiday parties, which is more the reason why you have to get intentional of saying either no, or I'll come late, or I will bring a tray of food that works for my benefits. End of work year parties, which nobody I think actually likes to go to their end of work year parties. It's kind of like forced fun. And the other part is, it's like, it's triggering for me at this point in my life. It's, hey, here's foods that don't really fit my plan, and here's the people I work with, which I do enjoy, but it's always like you kind of have to go. So it's one of those, like, making sure you bring the veggie tray, or bring like buffalo chicken tenders that you can make very low cal and high protein, and making those choices work. You also have every holiday under the sun in December, and every holiday party that comes with it. And the other part we don't talk about is, when we get to the holiday months, we're eating a lot more nutrient dense foods. You look at it like, if you're having the candied yams, or there's so many pies that come out, they are caloric bombs that can really take you from a deficit into maintenance, or a maintenance into surplus. Or if you're already eating in a surplus, this is where you see the scale just really start to go out of whack, because you're eating so many more foods that are lower in protein and higher in fat, carbs, and just calories without that protein balance that keeps us full. Time constraints. So many times we'll say, I was out late at the holiday party, so I'm going to miss the morning workout. But again, it's stress and emotional. There we go.
We're back. We're back.
This is part two. I pretty much just shared for everyone who's tuning into part two. We all discovered how to lose 20 pounds in 20 minutes. And it's so simple. I don't want to recap it again. You're going to have to subscribe to my email list for it. But it was really good. So to finish up with what we do in December, it really comes down to how do you handle your travel, your weather, your lack of accountability. And a lot of the times, the biggest one is we postpone our goals. So, it's one of those things. If we build a plan in September and we drive through and we fail and we mess it up in September and October, but then we learn and we have it in place in November and December, instead of being up 10 pounds or even maintaining, you might have lost weight just by running around the holidays, or you've maintained, which is a win in and of itself. So at the time of this recording, you got to ask yourself, January 1st is in 82 days, and where do you want to be? I think a really good activity for you, if you're listening to this later, or if you're in the group, just take a moment and just jot down, what do you want your routines to look like? What do you want your fitness to look like? If you're only working out 1 day a week, maybe you want to up it to like 3 or 4. We'll start it now in October so that by November and December, that's just how you live and exist. What does your nutrition look like? Are you eating properly and doing everything? Are you checking your macros? Are you using a bariatric plate method? If you've mastered it in October and November, then by December, January, you're rocking it and you're having a perfect balance. And really ask yourself, what does your day look like sun up to sundown? So many times it's like, yes, I want to lose weight. And it's like, well, what are you changing in your lifestyle to ensure that you lose weight? Or how do you develop bariatric surgery, like a life for bariatric surgery? It's, well, you kind of have to plan, what does your day and routine look like to have success? So finally, what do we do as Busy Bariatrics? We respect our calendar, which means that when we put things like meal planning, meal prepping, grocery shopping, that needs to be sacred. And that needs to be time to really be intentional about what we're doing on our food. So much of our work is going to go through and have a benefit for that. The other part is we have to reflect and reinforce our non-negotiables. If I have a weekday holiday party, I'm not drinking. It's just understood. I work out the next morning anyway. So it's like if I have a workout scheduled the night before or the morning after, I don't drink the night before because I don't want to miss my workout or go through a bad workout. We prepare and we plan. It's also one of those, like, if we know we have this great holiday event with our families that we really love and we enjoy, well, maybe you plan to have your workout the day before, or you intentionally eat high protein options that are still delicious so you don't feel restricted going into that holiday. And then give yourself the next day off if you're going to be out late or partying, or enjoy it in full steam so that you don't get this idea of like you have to restrict constantly. The other thing is we don't sit in our issues. So many times, like, we start to struggle during this point of the month and we just say, well, we know the diet sales are going to start in January, or, I'll just wait till January to start. Reach out and start talking to a coach. It doesn't have to be me, but there's so many great coaches out there in the bariatric community and the fitness community who can really help you get actionable plans and get the results that you want. So one activity I'd challenge all of you to do is really map out where your deal breaker meals and parties going to be. And then also map out your calendar for the next 3 months and start communicating now with loved ones of, hey, I'm not going to be making this about food. I'm going to be making it about the celebrations and the times that we need. And that's it, Bren. We're good on my part. So I'll take questions if you have them.
You switched a lot. We have a couple questions actually. I was just starting to type it in. Somebody asked, so sorry I was late. What is BUR? So it's September, October, November, and December,
Yes.
is what the BUR stands for. And then somebody's asking, not a sneeze, but what app do you use to track your food?
Yeah, this is great. So I use Chronometer. I always joke when people ask me about this because I'm kind of known as like the tracking guru with everything. So I get it a lot. And it's one of those, I pay Chronometer. Chronometer does not pay me. That's how much I believe in it. I will say I do believe like good coaches, and why I use Chronometer is not just because of how well I've gotten results off it. But when I work with my clients, I'm able to see their food choices. They're able to take pictures into it, and I can kind of translate it into their macros for them. It allows you to save recipes, and it really allows for open communication between myself and my clients. So one of the things I pride myself with is I'm very hands-on, especially in the early days of coaching you, in the sense of I want to help you both understand how macros work, but implement it. And I can show that by going through and explaining how, your macros break down by looking through Chronometer.
How does that spell, Rob?
I'll type it in the chat. It's Cronometer. So
Okay, and I'll transfer that over to Facebook once I see what you got there.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Rob, I'm curious myself. Um, if somebody is to enlist with your coaching, what kind of things do you help with? Obviously it sounds like if somebody's tracking their food, that would be something you'd recommend, and then you'd go back in and help them with making sure like certain percentages of their macros, like they're getting enough protein, they're getting enough fluids, getting enough carbs, fats, that
Absolutely.
type of
So
thing.
yeah, so to be super clear, the only people who can really give a meal plan are registered dietitians. So what I do is I help you calculate your macros, and then I kind of show you how you can map out with food choices. A lot of what I do is nutritional coaching and information. So what that comes from is really explaining like, here's some high protein options. Here's how you can incorporate it through your day to get the work that you need, and really develop a lot of it as well with the fitness aspect. So for me, it's a lot of looking at not just what you're eating, but when you're eating. So the idea of getting in carbs before your workout. How do you do that as a bariatric patient? How do you build a bariatric plate that works to your goals? How do you incorporate a step goal? So I think I have one of the better holistic or fully developed programs because I handle not just how to lift, but the why of lifting, just like I handle the how you eat, but the why it matters what you put on your plate. I really am proud of the level of touch points I give my clients. I keep it intentionally small. So if you sign up to work with me, unlike other coaches and programs who you may sign up with one and then you get an assistant coach, you really are working with me where I am giving you a bi-weekly Zoom call where we are meeting and going through our habits, behaviors, and routines. And then on the weeks that I don't meet with you, I actually provide you with a recording of what I'm noticing in your fitness and nutrition and going over your actionable items and how you can improve. So I
Yeah,
think it's a good deal.
yeah, what would you suggest somebody just starting, like if I was coming to you and I was like, okay, Rob, help me. What would be your starting points for someone?
So what I really pride myself on is getting like really personalized with my clients. So help me can mean so many things. And it really does come down to me just really asking and checking in of where do you see yourself struggling the most on your bariatric journey? And for some of them, it's like, I can't get to the gym. And one of the things I've created and I'm really proud of is I have a full 3 month breakdown gym intimidation routine where I essentially give you the basics of what you need to know when you go to the gym and kind of give you your workouts. And through the app that I use, I'm able to embed videos. So if you've never been to a gym before, you can press play and watch a 30-second video that explains how to do the exercise and what to look for your success. And then I'm literally checking you every day and giving you feedback in the app so that you can see exactly how to adjust. If it's nutrition, a lot of the times why I use Chronometer is I can help you identify like where you're struggling with your macros. And a lot of the times, like I guarantee you, if you start tracking and looking at it, you're probably eating too much fat and not enough protein. And it's small little changes like that that can really change your satiety cues, how much your hunger is, and help you add volume or use it, take advantage of your pouch and, get the most bang for the buck of what you can put in there. So it's a wide range of things that I help with. And it comes from someone who has struggled with his weight his whole life, has had bariatric surgery, and who develops it with people.
So Rob, I'm gonna actually put here I just put your Instagram, your website, and your email. I'm gonna add that to Facebook here also as well. But is it okay if I share my screen? And I'm gonna kind of go on to each of those sites, those two sites, the Instagram and the website, because I
Yeah,
also wanna, I know you have a newsletter too as well that I want to kind of talk about here. Yeah, I
I'll
know you
drop
have a link
that.
for that. Yes,
I'll drop
that's
that link in
perfect.
here as well.
So here is Rob's Instagram page. He is known as um
My latest
my
sister.
script. Yes, thank you. My weight is history. I have a something that's just covering up my top of my screen, so it's not showing me everything. To try to move some things around.
If
Um,
it helps, it's coming in crystal clear on my side from my mom.
okay, good.
So,
So my weight is history. I'm going to pull up one of your posts because I think this is cool because we didn't have a before and after picture that we showed. So this, you want to say anything about this picture?
yeah, so on the left, I'm at the Devon Horse Show. That was at my highest weight of 365 pounds. And on the right is literally just a regular day of me at the gym. This was actually featured. I had my surgery done at Penn Medicine. And they did a full feature and campaign around me of just how I've gone from when I went into the initial meeting, like the reason that pocket square is so like hanging out of my jacket is because I would sweat so much that like I had to literally use it as a handkerchief as well. But it's just proof that like you can change your life around after bariatric surgery. I used to barely be able to move, and now I'm doing 5 miles a day for my cardio. I'm lifting heavy weights, and I'm helping others do the same. So just know that like you're not alone, and that anyone can really do this with the proper work and effort that you need.
You know, it can be scary, like when you're first starting out. So
Yeah,
pull up one of your other ones here. It can be scary because, you know, when you're not used to doing anything and then having to move on to do a lot more, it's it
yeah,
can be. It's something new. So I've even heard some people who start weight loss surgery. I had a guest on one time that said he would pull into the parking lot at the fitness center and just sit there. And he said he did that for almost a year. Like he didn't ever go in because he was too scared. So
it's tough,
um
and
it,
I think it's very common. One of the worst things I did was I went to a gym, or I claimed I went to a gym when I was at my highest weight, and I would go to McDonald's or Wendy's. I would get food. I'd call my friends on the phone, and I would just use this 2 hours to kind of escape my parenthood duties. And um, the more awkward part is the gym closed, and I didn't even realize it. Like it shut down, and my wife didn't say anything at first, and then was like, where have you been going? The gym closed a month ago and you still keep claiming you're going to the gym. Like I wouldn't even go to the parking lot. I would go to another parking lot and just say I was going to the gym. And it's common, like because you get in these habits, patterns, and behaviors, and slowly and surely it works off. And with time and effort, you can really rechange how everything works for you.
I love that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna also pop over here to your busybariatrics.com
Yep.
website, which we have. It's just busybariatrics.com, pretty easy and simple. And for those of you who are just listening later for the podcast, tell us where they can find your newsletter on here. Is it on here?
Yep. So if you scroll up, and you can see
Scroll
I
up.
have my testimonials. I've got a whole bunch of people. If you click connect with Rob, the black square in the top right screen.
Okay.
So if you click there, this is what it'll take you to. And I promise you, I only send like an email out like once a week. Sometimes it's like once every 2 weeks. I'm not flooding your email box, but I will tell you if you sign up for my email newsletter in the next 2 weeks, I'm releasing the Busy Bariatric No Cook Cookbook. What this is for the month of September and October, I have decided to make it no cook November, which means in my household, I am relying on prepackaged foods, pre-prepared foods that you can get at Costco, Target, Walmart, almost anywhere that you can find a nationwide brand. And I've compiled about 30 to 35 macro-friendly choices that'll work for your bariatric journey, as well as 31 single-serve frozen meals that will fit your macros after bariatric surgery. So sign up for that. It's coming out in the next week or two. We're finishing up publishing on it, but it's just a good resource I wanted to share with everyone, because for so many of us, we're too busy to cook every night. And as much as we love the idea of like, let's cook a home cooked meal, let's be honest, sometimes it really just means let's slap something together that doesn't destroy, our budget or our bank or our nutritional bank, and get something together.
Well, and I love, there's no commitment with this. I mean, it's just a way to kind of stay in touch with Rob. And if you decide at some point that some of his services might be helpful, you can always jump on board. But at this point, if you're interested in just kind of knowing more, it's a great way to kind of do this. Now, if somebody is wanting to partner with you, Rob, what would you suggest they do? Like, what is the first step?
You can DM me on Instagram. I'm the only one on my account, which works there. You can go to busybariatrics.com and click on Work with Rob. It's also on my link tree on my Instagram page. You can sign up for coaching there. I do also offer, and I will give for all of the ProCare family, I do a free 30-minute consultation with anyone, because I truly believe like sometimes you don't necessarily need a coach. You just kind of need to understand some things. So if you just even have like a couple questions, you can sign some time with me, because I truly believe like this community has been so awesome to me, and I want to give back in any way possible. So I've got plenty of free resources. I've got plenty of low cost resources. And then we do have some coaching and community options that, are both available and are at pretty much different price points.
I also want to add, I think you're going to be coming up. Somebody wants to meet you in person.
Yes.
Tell us where you're going to be coming up.
I am going to be at, let's see, we have Bariatric Retreat. That'll be October 30th, November 1st and 2nd. I'm going to be presenting with Kim, who is on ProCare as well, on movement and macros. I think the world of her, and she is my personal coach. So it's kind of how do we blend this idea of what to eat and how to fuel our success all in one. And then we get our fists going. And then it's weird. Like my year of travel is kind of up. I don't have anything planned after November. So I might hibernate for a couple months or just see where the year takes me.
Well, I'm gonna post this. So the Bariatric Society retreat is here. Now, Rob, do you have it? Is there any special discount codes?
Promo code Rob. I'll put that promo code Rob gets you $50 off your ticket right now. So if you're still on the fence and you're like, you know what, I've listened to this guy ramble on in his basement, I want to see him in San Antonio, you get $50 off with promo code Rob. So
I'm going to go ahead and put that on here as well. Make sure promo. Can you still hear me, Rob?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, good. I'm typing within Facebook, and then I'm going to add the promo code. Takes me a second. I'm not the quickest person here. And that'll save you $50 off.
Yeah.
Oops, it's tagging somebody here. I don't mean to do that. Let's try this again. And I'll put $50 off, right? $50 off registration.
Yeah, it's a good time to.
And I'm gonna be there too, Rob. We're gonna be together again. We were teasing each other because we've.
I joked I was going to torture Brenda because I saw her 2 weeks ago at Just Be You in DC. We were doing this, and I was like, for every 2 weeks you're gonna have to deal with me. And Brenda, you're always the best. You're like, no, it's not a bother. But we'll see by San Antonio if you're like, you know what, we're taking the rest of the year off. So.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Let us know if any of you out there who are with us here on the call are going to the bariatric retreat. We'd love that. And in the meantime, we have just a few minutes. Rob, I hope it's okay. I'm going to share some ProCare, our sponsor, some things regarding our sponsor. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we've been doing a special little promotion and kind of like sharing products because there's so many new products always coming out and that type of thing. I did not mean to share that screen. Let me go here. So, protein powders. Protein powders can be tough finding one that really fits. And ProCare Health does have several different versions of protein powder. They have one protein powder that's just ProCare Health. We have a vanilla and a chocolate flavor. We also have something called Z Pro. I'm going to show you all of these here in just a second. And then we have a third one that is not really highly advertised, but it's something called ProCell, and it is unflavored. We're always having people ask about unflavored protein powders. So if this is something that you're interested in, it's just a little powder that you can sprinkle in your coffee or sprinkle in, your foods. It has no really, it's not supposed to alter the original flavor of any of either your drinks or your food. No heavy odor, it's gluten-free, low lactose. And so it's a great way to add a little extra protein. It's only 5 grams per serving, but you can add, 2 of these or 3 of these just to get a little extra in between. And I'm going to stop sharing there and then reshare again to the ProCare Health website. So if you're just listening and you're not online seeing this,
Brenda, I will
go
interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
If you want to send me some of those for me to sample, I'm intrigued because so many times, like, I can't stress enough, like with liquid protein, there's 2 benefits, and I'll kind of give the background as another bariatric patient while you're changing slides. And it's been like 3
Yeah, please
benefits I found.
do.
So many times when I work with clients, one of the bigger issues we see is we're not hitting our hydration goal and we're not hitting our protein goal. And one way to kill, like, I'm all about like busy bariatrics. We do not have time to mess around or plan this. So if you can slide like 5 grams of protein into your already like electrolyte drink or your coffee, you're slowly building it up. And if it's whey protein, it's a good source, which I'm happy to hear. So Brenda, if you want to back the truck up, I'm listening. So
Back the truck up and empty it out. Well, you'll be getting an email from me right after this. So
she's the
so
best.
we'll figure all that out. I'm all about sending free stuff. Okay. So if you go to procarenow.com, which is our sponsor's website, ProCare Health, and you go down to proteins, okay? And here you're going to find all the different kind of protein powders we offer. I mentioned the ProCare Health versions, the vanilla and the chocolate flavors. We also have something called Liquicell that's listed on there. I'll talk about that here in a second. But down a little bit, about halfway down the page, is something called ProCell, which is the product I was just talking about, the unflavored. So you can buy it in little single serving packets, or excuse me, or you can buy it in canisters. So the prices are actually, I feel like, really, really doable for, for a one-time purchase. We're talking $10.50 for 25 count of the single servings. And if you were wanting the canister version, one canister, $14.24. And I'd have to look how many servings that is. Guess we'd have to look at grams. I should have looked at that here before.
What are we doing? Because I'm doing math right here.
Are you? Okay, let's look here. We have a 285 gram, 10 ounce. So each one I think is probably about I'm going to say maybe an ounce. So maybe about 10 servings.
Just flip it and it should say how many servings are in the container. Scroll up.
6.6 grams per scoop or stick pack. So in the container, we have, going back up, 5 grams.
285 divided by 6. This is how we do. Oh, yeah, that's like 48 servings, 47.5. But figure some will fall out because it's a scoop. You have 47 servings. That's
okay.
A good.
There we go. And so you can also get more if you're like wanting to try like a case of them. That's also another option, probably a little cheaper if you're buying it by a larger serving. So just a couple ways to kind of get some different things in. Also, I mentioned protein wise, some of the other options that we have are the flavors, which we have the vanilla chocolate. I'm going to show you the Z Pro here in a second, but the Liquicell is like little flavor shots, and each of them have 16 grams of protein, and they actually have some collagen product within them as well, 2.5 grams of arginine. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a type of amino acid that helps. Z Pro, the types of protein powders that we have there is vanilla, we have strawberry, we have chocolate, we have red velvet. We also have other protein products called Ostrom, which we have those in, we're a vendor for those. We have them in turkey, chicken, beef and ostrich, and I think elk. I don't see that on here, but there's all different kinds of flavors and different things. Those I'm absolutely in love with. Like if you're wanting to take long, Rob, I'm kind of with you though. I'm all in for the easiness. Sometimes when you're on the go, busy, you know, you need just
Yeah.
different options.
And like
I
if you're
also just
traveling, like if you go on a plane, you can't like let's just make this very clear. Please do not pack your own protein powder in like Ziploc bags and try to take it on a plane. I promise you, you're going to get stop searched. It is not worth your trouble. But if you even pack some snacks like the meat sticks, like they travel well, they're easy to put in. You just put them in your container and then you're good to go.
okay, well, yeah, like I have a backpack that I carry with me almost everywhere. I do the same thing. I just kind of carry like the little to-go things everywhere because
Yeah.
like single serving is just so easy. I do have a question from Facebook that I want to answer. Michelle, thank you for asking. She said, I sampled the caramel calcium chews. It was great. Are there one a day? It didn't say on the sample package. I got them from my doctor's office. Some doctor's offices, bariatric doctor's offices will carry some of our products, and that is one of them. Um, each of our calcium chews typically have 500 milligrams of calcium, 500 IU of vitamin D3, and it depends on what your needs are. Most bariatric patients, the recommendation is 1,200 to 1,500 milligrams per day. So yeah, maybe around 3 a day would be recommended unless you're getting a lot of calcium in your diet. Otherwise, you know, if you're doing tracking like Rob's talking about, a lot of these apps will track calcium for you in your diet. So you can also look at that. But usually about 3 a day is usually typically for most programs.
Yeah.
And I also want to just, oh, were you going to say something else, Rob?
Yeah, just real quick to talk about like the importance of getting your blood work and checking your stuff, because if you are calcium deficient, you know, like having the calcium chews, I will say it's one of my favorite ProCare products. Brenda also got me convinced to go to Dinner Mint. And what I do is I just pack them because I'm on the go for most of the day. Like I have my breakfast out of a lunch container, I have my lunch out of a lunch container, and I have a snack. So what I literally do is you get the Dinner Mint ones, and that's like your after meal refresher. And then it's like almost, I feel gucky now if I don't have a Dinner Mint after my meals. Like it's like the palate cleanser I've always wanted. And I'm
It's
taking a vitamin.
they're like
So
sweet treats almost. It's almost like your little Halloween candies.
they really are. Although I'm pretty sure the kids would. How much would kids hate me if I gave out like the ProCare calcium chews as a treat and was like, "Here, we're gonna work on your bone density." I'm definitely getting egged if I do that.
Oh gosh, I'd like to take a video of that. That would be pretty awesome.
You
That's
giving out
funny, Rob.
calcium chews?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and two, I want to tell people if they haven't ever tried ProCare Health, when you go to the procarenow.com website, click on over. There's a blue bar at the very top of the page. Interested in a free sample? Click here, and when you click there, you fill out a very short form and one free sample per customer. But we do offer a whole bunch of different free products, so check that out. I also want to say our chocolate is back shortly. We haven't started advertising because we only have about 200 bags. So for people who are looking for another calcium supplement, the chocolate it should still be on here unless we've already sold out. Like we just put it back on sale yesterday. It's up back in stock for limited time. So guys, if you want to
Just
check that
bulk
out,
order,
we'll have
people. Just bulk
yes.
order.
We're also going to be
Seriously.
coming back full staff in November. So if you don't get it here in October, hopefully November. Also want to say how to kind of continue to connect. Like if you missed the beginning of Rob's episode, click on Bari Connected at the top. You go down on our website. Right here will be a pop-up box. Right here, you can click on the live stream version. And when you click that, you'll register and you'll get access to the replay. All replays are available each month till the end of the month. We also have down here our support groups, which we offer, and listen on any major podcast station. You know, we're on Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of the different ones under Bari, Bari, space connected. So replays do go on there usually within about a week. And also our YouTube channel, which I'm going to, if you click on the little button there, it'll bring you to our YouTube channel, and you can find Rob here next week. We also have about 178 videos on there right now. So all kinds of great stuff. If you subscribe on our channel, you actually will get a notification when new videos are added. So that is everything I have to say for now. Rob, thank you so much. Any closing thoughts? I know we're a little over on time, but
just thanks again for having me, Brenda. Thanks so much to the whole ProCare team. You guys have been nothing but great to me. You put up with my foolishness and you send me treats, so it's a very nice relationship for me. But if you're still listening to this and I haven't bored you to death, please reach out if you need any sort of help, even if it's just to take the free clarity call to help you figure out what your goals are. I just wanted people to know that I want to be a resource for this community. And as someone who has benefited greatly from being in this community, I hope the same for all of you. So thanks for spending a little bit of your time and day with me.
thank you, Rob. And thank you to each of you guys out there. Continue to join us. We love you. Have a great rest of your day and go into the burrs with lots of gumption, lots of fun.
Beat the bird. Let's beat the bird.
Beat the
people.
bird. Bye, everybody. Thanks again, Rob.
Bye.
Bye-bye.